Hey guys, welcome to our episode 3 of React. So, in this episode, we will just look into how to create a component and how to execute it. Let's undergo some practical stuff in this episode. And yeah, we can start. So, to create a component, we have to create a JSX file inside our source folder. So, let me right click on source folder and new file. So you have to enter the component name. So first I'll just start with a navbar dot JSX. So for component name, the first letter should be in uppercase, and you should have dot JSX as your extension over here. So just hit enter. A file will be created with your component name over here. So what is navbar? Let's explain you with an website. So this is an website of our Apple Store. You can see the top, you have an logo of the website and some categories, right? So this rectangular box is called as navbar. So no need to go deeper about this, because in this episode we are just gonna look into what is components. So to make you guys understand what is navbar, I just demonstrated and showed you. That's it. So as a first step of creating component, you have to write a simple JS function, which is like a JavaScript function. Let's write um, function navbar and then brackets, and yeah. So this is like simple JavaScript function. I guess many of them knows it. And basically, as I said earlier, for React, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, all these things should be well known to learn React. So yeah, this is a function of navbar, and inside is we have to return something, right? So return bracket and semicolon. So semicolon is like your wish, and basically I follow to use this terminating operator, but it's not mandatory over here. It can exist without terminating. So it shows an error over here, right? So because we have to return something, it's like a parenthesis without anything, right? So you have to return something. So here inside we will just write a basic HTML code over here. Let's create a div. So inside div, let's have something called h2 tag, which says learning is fun, something kind of it. And let's have an h3 tag which says sorry, uh, education is celebration. That's it. So this is a basic function we have. So we have a component neighbor.jsx. So inside this file, we have created a simple JavaScript function which is gonna return this HTML over here. Hope you guys understood till this much. I guess so. Now, if this has been written, you have to export this component to import in somewhere, right? So first, we have to link this component to app.jsx, which is uh, using import statement. So before importing, you have to export this. So the syntax for exporting is like export default and your function name. So yeah, so before entering navbar, you can see this is been fade out over here because it's not been used anywhere. The function is not been used anywhere. So now after entering navbar in export, you can see this function is been exporting. So once this function has been exported, we have to import it to our app.jsx. Basically, it's like importing in main.jsx. But you can see main.jsx is already importing app.jsx. So now we have to import it over here. So before importing, you can see there are like already written codes. So we have to erase this. So this thing is been written over here, app.jsx. So once we erase this, you can see uh, everything has been gone off, and it says like nothing has been returned over here. and you have some JavaScript variable over here. Just remove this, and CSS of this app.jsx is been imported. And now let's remove all those import statements. It's like useless for us now. So yeah. So the first step, you have to import this neighbor.jsx, which is like neighbor function. Inside neighbor.jsx we have. So this should be like imported into app.jsx. So let's type import, and the function name is navbar, right? So just copy it, and navbar from uh, dot slash. Since we are using VS Code editor, it shows the path name over here. So just yeah, hit enter. Now again, you can see this import statement is like m fade out, which says that it's not been used anywhere. So now inside return tag, you have to create a HTML tag saying that navbar, and yeah. So an open HTML tag and close HTML tag has been created. So now if you go and check your application, you have this learning is fun and education is celebration, which we have created inside neighbor.jsx. So first we have created a component which is like neighbor.jsx. So inside neighbor.jsx, we have created a function which is named as navbar. And this navbar has returning some HTML codes, and we are exporting this navbar function. And again, we are importing this navbar function in app.jsx, which is like import function name from codes. Inside you should enter dot and slash and the file name over here, navbar. So yeah, now it's returning something. Let's create and see a second component. Same way, src, right click, new file. Let's have some component name like course dot jsx. Yeah. So inside this course dot jsx, let's again create a function, and course, it's gonna return. So yeah, let's create a div. So inside this div, what can we write? Okay, let's write a h2 tag says that this is React episode 3. So later we will have some image tag. Okay, so instead of writing big thing, you can just write image, and have some h4 tag saying components creating episode. Yeah. So now we have created again a component with the function course. So as I said earlier, you have to export this. You have to export this JSX, right? So export default course. That's it. So now you can see this function course is been like exporting over here. Now let's go to app.jsx and let's import it. So rather than of typing import, since we are using VS Code editor, you can just simply type course. I mean course. It shows the function which you have written previous, right? So if you just click on it, you can see it automatically imports this course from dot slash course. So since we are using VS Code editor, this is a advantage we have over here. And now if you see, it throws an error. So let's open our web page and check over here. Here you can see adjacent JSX element must be wrapped in enclosing tag, it says. And did you want JSX fragment, and it says some basic open and close tag. And so basically what does it says means, in return function has a property to return only one HTML tag. So it can't return multiple HTML tags. So if we remove this navbar, and if you go and check, you can see the course component is being like executed over here. And in other way, if you just remove this course component, and if you go and check, you can see navbar component is being like executed over here. So basically this return statement has a feature of returning only one HTML tag. So to fix this, what it says over here is fragment is using a open and close tag over here. So we'll just cut this and we'll create a single div. And if you just go and paste it over here, now you can see the error has been gone. So now if you go and check, both the navbar and the course component, all these two things is been like executed over here. So we have wrapped up this neighbor component and course component with div tag. But div is an HTML tag which already has some properties, right? So instead of using div, we will just simply use a open and close tag. And same, you can see there is no any changes in the result over here. So basically return statement can execute only one HTML. So we have wrapped this navbar and course component into a single HTML tag, and that executes over here. And the second thing is, since we are not writing any uh, codes inside, any scripts inside navbar and course tag, this can be a self-closing tag too, like this. So we are just using a self-closing tag instead of uh, open tag and close tag. So this is like normal HTML tag, like we have BR tag, right? This is like break statement. So there is a concept in HTML which is like self-closing tags, and basically those concepts is being used over here. So you can check both the navbar component as well as the course component has been visible in this. And this is not the default layout because the CSS is been written over here. You can see app dot, where is this app dot CSS. You can see if I remove all the CSS, which is like default CSS which gave by Witty. So now if you just check, the alignment has been shifted. So now still CSS is being used over here. Let's go for index.css. Yeah, let's remove all this. So now if you go and check, it is become as a normal HTML page. And same way in component, you can create a button too. Let's create a button with saying like enroll this episode now. So if you go and check over here, you can see this button called enroll this episode now. So buttons can also be used inside a component. Yeah, basically what all HTML functions and what all HTML tags we have, all these things can be used inside this component. And also, let's say we will just create a const which is new saying HTML. Okay, so new is not a word, so like let's say C1, something like this, or else course 1. Okay, so now to access this course 1, just you can hit uh create a h2 tag saying course 1. So what does this statement gives us, whether it prints course 1 or is like HTML? As you can figure it out here, cos1 is being fade out, which indicates cos1 is not been used. So these two cos1 have been different. If you go and check in a HTML page, it shows cos1, not the HTML which we have assigned to this variable. To use this, you have to enclose this with a curly braces. So now, if we check over here, it shows HTML, which is all this JavaScript functions or computations can be accessed within this curly braces, and not only variables, or else if you can check, which is like 2 plus 3, you can check it just gives you answer 5 over here. It just computes and gives you. Let's do into 10. So now it gives 32. So it does all this computational functions. If you wanted to enclose, if you enclose in curly braces, all this JavaScript computation functions will be like executed over here and it will be like printed. And so that's it of components over here. So we have created a navbar component and course component, and I like explained you what is how to integrate two components and execute it into an web page, and all these things we have looked through it. And let's see more deeper in episode 4. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.